Hello and welcome into Ask Mitchell Live. I am your host, Giorgio, alongside the man of the hour, Mitchell Renz. We are here to answer all of your fantasy football questions, so make sure to get those questions in the comment section below. And if you are on Twitter, use the hashtag please Ask Mitchell Live, and we will be getting all those questions answered right here live. How are you doing, Mitch?
I'm good. How are you, Jordan?
Ready to get into
it? Yeah, let's do it.
Before we start, though, we want to go ahead and tell you guys, if you love fantasy football as much as myself and Mitch, go ahead and check out his Fantasy Football Rumors podcast on iTunes right now and listen and subscribe.
Yes, please do. Tom Downey and I, we break down fantasy football rumors, some high school superlatives. We have a little bit of fun on there. It's a video podcast, and I promise you, if you guys like fantasy football, you're going to love that podcast.
And also, you wanted to mention tips for those trying to get into the fantasy football industry.
For sure. I mean, the fantasy football industry is an amazing, amazing industry. Like, so many awesome people, and I just tweeted out something yesterday, so please check out my Twitter, at MitchellRenz365. Find a tweet and DM me, and I can help you guys out.
There you go. All right. And if there's anyone who you need to listen to, it's this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Hopefully.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. We have 5 players you guys need to take a shot on this week. And first up, we have Joe Mixon, running back for the Bengals. Okay, Mitch, tell me about this one. Mixon was a little disappointing this past week. Why are you confident moving forward with him?
I'm confident in Mixon because the first 3 weeks before that, Jordan, he had 15 to 20 touches in all 3 of those games. He finally started to get the work that I think we were hoping that he would get, and unfortunately he was just in a bad game script last week against the Steelers, so they weren't really able to give him the work that he truly needed. But I mean, you see there on the screen, like 7 carries, 48 yards. He was productive. He just wasn't getting enough of the work. And the Colts this season are ranked 31st against running backs and just they've given up 8 rushing touchdowns this year, 1.1 per game. I think Mixon, if you give him that 15 to 20 touches mark, he's going to find the end zone, and he's just going to be a guy who you can rely on in a week where there's 6 teams on a bye, Zilla. There
you go. Feel confident with Joe Mixon on your lineup. Next up, we have Jason Witten for the Cowboys. He's up against Washington, and I like this one, Mitch, because considering how terrible the Redskins have been against tight ends lately.
Yeah, right? I mean, they are really bad against tight ends. And I mean, when you just think about this for a sec, like the fact that they've given up 519 receiving yards to tight ends, Jordan, that's the most in the NFL, and they've even had a bye. Like, the Redskins have been getting absolutely torched, and Jason Witten, man, old reliable, last week, 4 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. I think he's going to find the end zone again. He's had 3 games this season where he's had over 9 targets, and in those games he's been a top 5 tight end. So again, Jason Witten, I think, is going to get the targets this week in a favorable matchup. Get him in your lineups. Jason Witten is a guy who you can trust. Take a shot on him.
All right, and next up we have Christian McCaffrey, a rookie who has been lighting it up lately, up against the Buccaneers this week.
Up against the Buccaneers. So this is the one that I think is a little bit interesting. So in a PPR league, Christian McCaffrey is a 10th ranked running back. In a standard league, he's 22nd. So down below, I have the Bucs are ranked 22nd against running backs, but 32nd against wide receivers. I understand Christian McCaffrey is labeled as a running back, Jordan, but this dude's
looking more like a receiver.
This dude's a wide receiver. Okay. He's got 44 catches. Only 3 guys in the NFL have more catches than Christian McCaffrey currently does. Larry Fitzgerald, Antonio Brown are the 2 big names that a lot of people think of, and Jarvis Landry's the other. Christian McCaffrey, though, 44 catches, currently on pace for 100 catches, and is going to light it up against that weak Buccaneers defense. I know that hurts for you to hear that.
He's got the hands for sure. Okay, let's move on to Nelson Agholor, a guy who struggled extremely last year, but it looks like he's back for real. He's been super efficient with targets this season.
And that's why I like him in this matchup. I think the Eagles right now, they are like a 13-point favorite and at home against San Francisco. The weather doesn't look like it's going to be all that nice there, but here's a guy who's catching 69% of his targets and doesn't need that high target volume to be efficient. He's scored a touchdown in 3 straight games, and he's been a top 5 wide receiver the last 4 weeks. Only Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Will Fuller, and DeAndre Hopkins have scored more fantasy points than Nelson Agholor over the last 5 weeks. Jordan, I'm staying in the fire. I'm staying with Nelson Agholor. He's a guy you can take a shot on.
All right, don't sleep on him. Next up, we have Kirk Cousins facing the Dallas Cowboys this week. You've been feeling a little confident.
I like Cousins, and he's a guy I'm playing in a lot of my DFS leagues, and yeah, he's a guy that I do like that because how good he's been just the last 2 weeks. I mean, last week he put up 303 yards, but the last 2 weeks he's got 5 touchdowns. He does have the 2 picks, but 633 passing yards, and he's been a top 2 quarterback the last 2 weeks. And he's kind of getting it going now. Josh Doctson's about to take a huge step forward for that Redskins offense. Cowboys are ranked 22nd against quarterbacks. Go with Cousins. He's going to be a reliable option, I promise.
No doubt about it. We're going to go ahead and get into a reaction poll for you guys. We want to know, will Kirk Cousins throw for 300 yards against the Cowboys? So throw up those hearts for yes and a wow face for no. Get those reactions in. Mitch?
Yeah, I should be careful saying this in Dallas Cowboys country, so if anybody, hopefully when I walk out the door today, I don't get attacked. But I'll tell you one person who's going to be attacking that Cowboys defense, it's going to be Kirk Cousins, because he's going to absolutely throw for over 300 yards. This guy's been slinging it around. That offense is good. Jordan Reed is healthy. When Jordan Reed is healthy, this Redskins team is dynamic. Jordan, what do you think?
I have to agree with you. I mean, you've been really making me feel confident in this guy, and I hope everyone at home is feeling just as confident with this guy on his lineup. So, yes, I'm throwing up the heart. He will throw for 300 yards, maybe more.
Maybe more.
All right. We're going to go ahead and get into some of your Facebook comments. So make sure to get those comments in the section below. Let's go ahead and bring those up. Producer Brett Scott, Adam Bradshaw, do you think Denver will keep Paxton Lynch?
Considering how bad Trevor Siemian has looked the last few weeks, and then their other quarterback option is Brock Osweiler, I've actually been thinking about leaving here Chat Sports and going and trying out and play quarterback for the Broncos. But I think they're going to keep Paxton Lynch. They invested a first-round pick in him, and I think Elway believes he can get him rolling. So I think they will still keep him.
Okay, and Joseph, ask Mitchell Live, who do I take, Prescott or Dalton? If I lose, I'm eliminated.
Oh, wow, it's week 8. We're already getting to that kind of point. So
gosh.
I think you got to go with Prescott. He's a top 5 fantasy quarterback right now, and I don't know how healthy Norman is, which should help out Dez a little bit. So I think that game's going to be higher scoring. I'm going to go Prescott. So fingers crossed for you, pal.
Rusty, will T.Y. Hilton make a comeback?
I mean, will Andrew Luck make a comeback? I don't know. These are questions that probably only a greater power can answer. I don't know.
If you had your crystal ball with you right now, you probably would be able to. All right, moving on to some of your Twitter questions. So make sure to use the hashtag AskMitchellLive. Lynn K, Watson or Big Ben?
Watson or Big Ben? Oh, boy. Big Ben not as good on the road, but Watson is a guy who I talked about on my Fantasy Football Rumors podcast. That being said, I'm probably going to go with Watson, even though he's on the road against Seattle. He's been good. It's hard to go away from him.
There you go. Doomsday Pokes is coming in saying Keenan Allen or Michael Crabtree in Week 8.
Oh, wow. First off, what a name.
I know. Love it.
Love it. But I'm going to go with Crabtree. I just think he has the better chance to score a touchdown. So I'm going to go with Crabtree in that one.
Awesome. Okay. Joey coming in saying, my bad, Phillip Rivers or Cam?
My bad. He says my bad because, Joey, you got to use the hashtag, homie, if you want it to come up on here. So his first question.
Joey, got to use the hashtag.
First time you didn't use the hashtag. But out of those two, I'm going to go with Cam Newton. He's playing the Buccaneers, and like I said, the Buccaneers have just been so bad on defense. And yes, Cam Newton is a heck of a roller coaster ride right now, but I like the Bucs defense. But Phillip Rivers isn't a bad start either against the Patriots, but the Patriots actually have been decent the last few weeks. So I'm going to go with Cam.
All right, there you go, Joey. You have some options. And Jack, DeAndre Washington or Jalen Richard in the standard league?
So this is in a standard league. I'm going to go with Washington, and the only reason is because Richard's more the guy who you can count on in PPR leagues. He had 4 catches, 45 yards last week, and Washington was the guy that found the end zone. So in a standard league, I think Washington has the better chance of finding the end zone. Go with him.
Justin Barrera is saying Deshaun Jackson or Dion Lewis in a flex full PPR league.
Oh boy, I'm probably going to go with Lewis since it's PPR. Yeah, he hasn't been catching the ball as much, and sure, the Patriots running backs are all over the place. And again, I always say if I knew what they were going to do, probably wouldn't be here. I'd be making a lot more money. But D-Jax right now, I don't know, PPR league, I'm going to go with Lewis. Let's go Lewis.
Brian needs a quarterback. Cousins in bad weather or Watson against Seattle's? D.
Bad weather. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cousins. I understand, like I said, though, it's probably gonna be pretty crappy weather out there in the East, but I'm gonna go with Cousins. I just think it's a better matchup.
Don't sleep on him. And we have another question coming in: Big Ben or Winston?
Big Ben's not very good on the road, and they've been really leaning on Le'Veon Bell, 38 carries or 38 touches and 35 touches the last few weeks for Bell, really like slowing down the game, keeping the other offense off the field. So Winston's been putting up better fantasy numbers than I think what he's been looking on the actual field. So I'm going to go with Winston in that case.
All right, and Kat is coming in saying start Amari Cooper or Chris Hogan.
Back to the Amari Cooper love. Oh man, like I want to believe in Amari. Hogan's been a lot better though, and I think I'm going to roll with Hogan. He's just been more consistent this year than Amari's one amazing game.
All right, and Mickey Joe, Smallwood, Aguilar, or Coleman in the flex.
Go with Aguilar, man. Like I said, top 5 wide receiver the last 4 weeks, three straight weeks with the touchdown. Stay in those flames with Aguilar. He's been playing well.
Yeah, very well. All right, Joseph, is Fournette's injury and Melvin Gordon's injury bad?
I mean, I think all injuries are bad to a certain extent, but Fournette's kind of scares me a little bit more. And the reason why I say that is because he's had the ankle issues before in the past, and that Jacksonville team, they looked good without him. Like I don't think like he's ever going to get replaced, but they looked fine without him. I think they're going to rest until he's 100% healthy. But Melvin Gordon, I think he's okay. I think Melvin Gordon's okay.
Okay, Blog Mamba, Deshaun Watson or Alex Smith?
Ooh, what a name. I'm going to go with Smith. Yeah, like I understand he's got the tougher matchup probably this week. I mean, they both do, but Alex Smith is probably the guy I'm going to roll with.
Okay, Sam Polson, Dak or Brady?
Brady. I'm not going away from Brady, man. I'm staying with Brady.
No doubt about it. All right, we have Cohen or Gore PPR league.
This is an interesting one. Unfortunately, Cohen hasn't been getting targets since Trubisky's taken over, but I'm going to go with Cohen in that scenario because they're in New Orleans this week, and I would imagine the Saints are going to put up points at home, so they're going to have to keep up the Bears, and I think Cohen's going to, he had a 70-yard touchdown last week, so go with Cohen. All
right, Joseph, should I give up on Pryor?
Yep. Yeah, you should, homie. And it's because the Redskins have given up on him, too, so.
All right, getting into some of those Twitter questions. Make sure you're using that hashtag AskMitchellLive. Kevin, Funchess, Aguilar, Thomas, ASJ, and Juju for 3 spots. Who should I play?
Oh, man.
Got some good options, though, there.
Some pretty decent options there.
Can you go wrong?
You can always go wrong. And believe me, I hear it every week when I do go wrong. Because it does happen. But out of all those names, I think you got to go with Michael Thomas. He's definite for me there. And then I'm going to go Funchess and Aguilar. Funchess is getting the Buccaneers really bad against wide receivers. And, again, Aguilar, he's my guy this week. So go with Thomas, Aguilar, Funchess.
PPR, Hopkins at Seattle or Aguilar versus the 49ers in the rain.
In the rain, yeah. That's what I mean.
Weather questions.
Well, apparently it's supposed to be pretty bad, right? Not as bad as the blizzards here in Dallas.
Yeah, right?
But, yeah.
39 degrees this morning. Couldn't handle it. Florida girl can't hang, you guys.
That's for sure. No, I'm probably going to go with, in that scenario, I can't bench Hopkins. Like, I've been talking a lot of Aguilar, but can't bench Hopkins right now. He's too good.
All right. And we have Sneakerhead 1816, Big Ben or Winston?
Sneakerhead. Man, that's a good one. I'm going to go with Winston. Go with Winston. I just don't trust Big Ben on the road.
Okay. Mitch, Kamara, Miller, Crabtree, Benjamin, half PPR, pick 2.
Mitch, what's up? We're doing this. So, half-point PPR, pick 2. I'm going to roll with Kamara. He's been a solid guy. And then probably going to roll with Benjamin against the Bucs D. So, go with Benjamin.
There you go. All right. We have John Madden, Big Ben or Winston. I think you answered that. We got Winston.
John
Madden.
Right? Yeah, go Winston.
Okay. We're going to make sure you guys are using that hashtag on Twitter, AskMitchellLive, and commenting in that section below on Facebook Live. We have another question coming in. Funchess, Aguilar, and Thomas, ASJ. I think we answered this one.
Yeah, I think we did again. So it's Funchess, Aguilar, and Michael Thomas.
Yes, all right. And we have Dak or Cousins.
Man, it's tough. I'm going to go Cousins. I've been hyping up Cousins a lot, so go Cousins.
All right, and then we have Blog Mamba again coming in. Alex Smith or Derek Carr stacked Cooper.
Yeah, I think I like Derek Carr more than I like Smith this week. And I mean, you can always do it like the stack. If you're doing DFS, I mean, going with a guy who can blow up like we saw Cooper did last week with the 19 targets, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So I think you could definitely do it. So I would go Carr and Cooper
in
that scenario.
There you go. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into a weigh-in now. We want to know, you guys, what player are you buying low in? So weigh in that comment section below and let us know. Mitch, who you got?
So a buy low guy is a guy who's currently maybe not doing as well as we personally think he can, and then this is a guy who you just ultimately want to buy low on and maybe sell high later. So the guy who I'm going to go with is a running back, Jordan. He's a running back on the Atlanta Falcons, and that is Devonta Freeman. And the reason why I say that is here's a guy who's been running really, really efficiently this year. He's got 5 touchdowns, but they're just not passing him the ball. So, and I just like, it floors me Steve Sarkisian has a job here right now because the Atlanta offense last season scored 540 points. It's only been done 8 times. And then what happens? The Falcons totally change up their offense. Makes no sense to me. This guy has 99 receiving yards, Devonta Freeman. Frank Gore has more. Isaiah Crowell has more. Devontae Booker has more. It makes me sick. There's no way he can't have this many receiving yards going forward. He's got to get more work in the receiving game. Buy low on Devonta Freeman because I think it's got to be only up from here.
There you go. All right, that was Mitch's take. Buy low on Devonta Freeman. And we want to know what you guys think too and who you are buying low on. So make sure to get those comments in below. We want to go ahead and get to some more questions on Facebook. Nadeem is coming in saying Wentz or Watson?
Wentz. Wentz is currently the MVP in the NFL, if you ask me, and I'm not going away from Wentz against San Francisco, who's not very good, so I'm going to go with Wentz.
There you go, Nadeem. Veronica, Winston or Dalton?
Winston. I'm going to go Winston in that case.
There you go. All right, Rusty, do you think the Colts will trade T.Y. Hilton or Vontae Davis?
No, I don't see why they would. I don't think they do, so I'd be surprised if they did at least.
Interesting. All right, Jalen Richard or DeAndre Washington?
Richard in a PPR, Washington in a standard.
There you go. Okay. Gonna get some more questions coming in. So make sure you're using that hashtag AskMitchellLive on Twitter, you guys. Once again, my name is Jordan Giorgio alongside Mitchell Renz. We're gonna go ahead and get into a reaction poll. Who scores more fantasy points this week? Give us a heart for Dez Bryant and a wow face for Demaryius Thomas.
So this is the interesting one, and I really wanted to throw this in here because I got this question a lot. Demaryius hasn't really been as reliable. They haven't been scoring touchdowns, and yeah, the Broncos' offense has been horrible the last few weeks. But Demaryius or Dez is probably going to get Norman. I think I'm going to go with Demaryius Thomas, though. I just think he's got the better matchup, so I think it's Thomas. All
right. There you go, you guys. Make sure to get those reactions in. We're going to go ahead and recap our 5 players to take a shot on. First up, we have Joe Mixon for the Bengals. He is up against Indiana this week. And next up, we have Jason Witten up against the Washington Redskins, followed by Christian McCaffrey, the rookie, up against Tampa Bay. And Nelson Aguilar, wide receiver for the Eagles, up against the San Francisco 49ers this week. And lastly, we have Kirk Cousins for the Redskins, and they're up against the Dallas Cowboys. And we have some more Facebook questions coming in for you, Mitchell. We have Tyreek Hill or Devin Funchess.
Man, I do like the matchup for Funchess, but Tyreek Hill's been too good, so I'm gonna roll with Hill in that case. I mean, when you just look at the Chiefs' offense, I mean they're just playing so well right now. So I'm gonna go with Hill.
All right, and moving on to some Twitter questions: Coleman, Forte, or Jonathan Stewart?
Coleman, Forte, or Jay Stu? Oh boy. So I think McCaffrey's been getting a little bit more work. He gets the better work, I'll say. Jonathan Stewart just hasn't been super efficient. Forte against the Falcons, I think that's more of a Bilal Powell game. And Coleman, the Falcons just have not been as efficient on offense. So, but I mean, man, if I have to pick between all those guys, I guess Forte, just because I know like he's probably going to get 10 touches, but not crazy about all the options, I'll be honest.
Jose is going in asking Hunt against Denver.
Oh, yeah. Right now, I understand like Denver's defense is scary, but it's Kareem Hunt. I can't imagine you have many better options than Kareem Hunt, and if you do, maybe I should be asking you the questions because, man, I would love to see running backs like that. Go with Hunt. You just can't sit him.
All right, Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen?
Man, that's a good one.
Tough one.
I'll say PPR league, I would probably go Allen, and then Cooper, he did have a lot of catches last week, but Man, yeah, I'm going to go Allen. I think I'm going to go Allen.
All right, Jackie Holmes, Standard League flex. White or Schuster?
Man, Standard League flex. I'm going to go Juju. He's averaged 3 catches, 39 yards the last 6 weeks. He has 3 touchdowns the last 6 weeks. He's going to start playing a little bit more now that Martavis is basically on the back burner. So I would go Juju.
There you go. All right, and we have another question coming in on Facebook. Which is a defense on the waiver wire who I could take a chance on?
Are the Saints, because the Saints right now are the number 2 fantasy defense, and like the name that is associated with the Saints, like people hear the name Saints defense and they're like, oh, like that's not a defense I want. Saints are the second best defense right now in fantasy football. They've scored 80 points in regular standard leagues, but they're playing the Bears this week. The Bears on the road this season. When they're on the road, defenses have scored 18, 20, and 10 points against them. If the Saints defense is on your waiver wire, pick them up against Mitchell Trubisky and that Bears team.
Take a shot on them. Mike, Kelvin Benjamin, Doug Martin, or C.J. Anderson at the flex.
Oh, man. That's a good one. At the flex, I'm going to roll with Martin. I think the Bucs are going to really try to lean on their run game a little bit more in a game where I think they need to. They need to keep that defense off the field, and they have to do it with Doug Martin. He's looked good this year, so feed him, Tampa Bay. I have him on my fantasy team. I'd love that.
All right, Deion Lewis or Rob Kelly?
Deion Lewis. I'm not a big Rob Kelly fan. Never have been. Probably never will be. I think he's a glorified fullback. Go with Deion Lewis.
Okay. There we go. And we have Kyle coming in. Standard League, need to start one. Matthews, Moncrief, Ross, or Benjamin. Thanks.
You got it. Happy to help.
Yes.
And especially with questions like this is what makes it tough. Oh, man, those are not good options, dude. Moncrief? I'm not confident about any of them, I'll be honest. There's got to be better options on your waiver wire.
Might be taking an L this week, right?
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. Send me your waiver wire. I can see what I can do.
That is all the time we have for you guys today. My name is Jordan Giorgio alongside Mitchell Renz. Make sure to give myself a follow at Jordan Giorgio and this guy while you're at it at Mitchell Renz. And if you liked our show, make sure to go follow NFL by Chat Sports. And when you do that, make sure to click See First so you won't miss anything. We'll see you next time.